this Saturday, UFC returns to London. And it is the big man himself returning to headline the main card, returning to where the damage was done, if you like. Tom Aspinall is fighting Tupura. So obviously we know about what happened against Curtis Blades nearly a year ago to the date. But he is back, and honestly I am so happy for him. So happy for him. I think UFC have done a little bit of a dirty, to be honest with you, with the card itself against the ticket pricing, because obviously tickets did not sell out and there's still tickets available, which is a massive surprise. But it also shows how British fans, what British fans are thinking at the moment, because we were promised Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Do you know what I mean? We were promised Hamzat in the UK, and you think like, why did none of these fights happen? Do you know what I mean? I'll go through the card and I'll go through some of my predictions. I will be honest with you, the first two fights I've not really got any interest in, but I do have a lot of interest in the Chris Duncan fight. I think after his performance on the Dana White Contender Series, I think he's going to come out fighting, literally. Like, I think you'll be very surprised with his hands. He's been training with Dustin Poirier at the moment, and I think that will only enhance his performance. Working with someone as hard-working as Dustin is. Once again, the next fight, Ketlin Vieira. I'm not too sure of those two. And this is what I mean by the UFC have bought 3 cards to the UK in the last couple of years, in the last year. And 2 of them have been fucking outstanding. And then it finished, obviously, with Tom being stretched out via injury. And it just doesn't have that same feel as excitement on this card, to be honest with you. Like Brian, the first few fights are just meh. They're not great fights. And listen, you can put in the comments saying that I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. But I just don't think that they're great fights. I think the UFC have done the British fans dirty here. I'm looking forward to watching Mick Parkin, someone who's training at the moment with Tom. I've met Mick in Calbon when he was training there. Absolute fucking great chap. Such a nice person. But yet again, dangerous with his hands. Mark DeCasey, Joel Alvarez, great fight. I remember watching Mark DeCasey on the Bisping card against Henderson at Manchester, like fucking 2 in the morning. That was absolutely sensational, and that was the first time I came across Mark DeCasey. So I'd love to see Mark DeCasey win there, but I know Alvarez is no joke. Danny Roberts, obviously, or another Brit, fighting against Johnny Parsons. I think Johnny Parsons win this. I will be honest with you. I'm just double checking if it's the same person. I think it is. No, it's not. I'm going to go with Danny Roberts here then. I am going to go with Danny Roberts. I've got the wrong person in mind. Johnny calls himself the Sluggernaut. We will see. We will see if he can stand and bang with Danny Hot Chocolate. The man closing the prelims, Davy fucking Grant. Honestly, there's going to be a bonus on this fight. Davy Grant will do, and Davy Grant does Davy Grant shit. Like, he could be 3 rounds down and he'll come out with a fucking submission like his last fight. He is fucking sensational. I'm going to go with Davy Grant win. Davy Grant to win the fight. Lerone Murphy, Joshua Culibao. Obviously, we wanted to see Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood. They've not given us that, but both of them are on the card. Could we see some dispute in the back, or could we see some fucking scuffling in the back? Possibly. I think Lerone Murphy, I will be honest, I think a lot of the Brits have got quite okay fights. Lerone Murphy, I think, has got a solid chance to win in. Jai Herbert, who's been fed to the fucking lions, is fighting Ziam. I'm pretty yeah, Ziam's got a 13-4, well, Jai Herbert's a 12-4, so both a pretty thing, and obviously the Ziam's a French fighter. I think Jai Herbert will do it. Like, Jai Herbert, man, he absolutely fucking bangs, doesn't he? And then you've got Paul Craig fighting against Muniz. Now this is a fucking fight. Paul Craig fighting against Muniz. Now this is a fucking fight. This is an absolute fucking fight. Where are they in the rankings? Where is Muniz in the rankings? He's got to be top 10. Where is he in the rankings? Let's see. Light heavyweight. So we've got... Why is this being silly with me? Paul Craig is currently, I think, 8th, isn't he? Right, why is this not loading? I literally just want to see the rankings. Here we go. Look. Welterweight light heavy. So we've got Paul Craig at number 9. Muniz is not in the top 15. That's interesting. I did not know that. I thought he was higher up. Paul Craig's going to win that one. I tell you what, I like this fight for Nathaniel Wood, Andre Fili. I think it'll literally just be a fucking slam and bang. Stand in the middle. It'll be a Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier sort of fucking get in the middle. I'd love to see Nathaniel Wood win. This is what I mean a little bit with the UFC London card being a little bit weak, is the fact that Molly McCann is a co-main event. No disrespect to Molly, but I just don't think this is worthy of a co-main event. I would rather see Paul Craig as a co-main event, or even fucking Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood. I just don't think this fight is worthy of a co-main event, especially on a London card. But I do think Molly is going to pull through. I will be honest with you. It'll be a bit strange not seeing Paddy there, or he might be in the crowd, but obviously not fighting. And I genuinely believe Paddy does bring a lot of fans, a lot of tickets. And I think that's what I mean by, I think that the UFC have done Tom a little bit dirty on that, in the price ticketing, and then rest of the card not being as strong as you like. And then we've got Tom Aspinall against Tybura. So Tybura's number 10, Tom's number 5. I don't think Tom jumps any spaces with a win. But I think a solid fight and maybe calling out. I will be honest with you, I think now's the time to fight Curtis Blades. Now, don't get me wrong, that last fight, Curtis looked fucking sharp. Has Curtis Blades got a fight announcement? I don't think he has. And obviously, he's coming off a loss to Pavlovich. So that will put Tom right up there with Pavlovich. Because obviously Cyril Gane's fighting Pavlovich next, isn't he? No, Cyril Gane's he's fighting Spivak. So I think a win for Tom, I would honestly stay healthy, stay ready, and maybe even fucking be ready for backup for that September card in Paris. Would not fucking surprise me to see him as a backup fighter for that. You know what the UFC are like, but if Spivak was to beat Cyril Gane, he would go up to second. Fact. Tom has already beat Spivak comfortably. I'd love to see Taito Vasa versus Tom. I think that's a great fight. I will be honest with you, my absolute fucking dream would to see Tom Aspinall face against John Jones and John Jones to hand the torch over. I genuinely believe like that would be like a sensational moment. Do I think John Jones beats Stipe? Yes, I do, comfortably. Will be honest with you, I think he beats him comfortably, and I think, as I say, Pavlovich is going to be down his fucking neck wanting that fight. I believe he will be the backup fighter for that in October, November, or if he does sign a fight with someone by then. Who knows? Who knows who could be on the backup fighter? But honestly, UFC London is shaping up to be an okay card, okay fight night. I don't think the ticket prices reflect the card itself. That's my honest opinion. I think if we had Leon versus Colby as the main event, Tom versus Tabura as a co-main, I think it would massively strengthen the card. I think, I will be honest, I think the likes of Mohamed Mukayev on it would help as well. Obviously Paddy being injured. Obviously Till's no longer with the UFC. Same with Grundy, no longer with the UFC. There's a lot of little bits where if this, if that, obviously we can't live in that thing. So that's my predictions. I think main event's going to go one way. I think Tom within two. Literally, I think I'd be surprised if it goes to the second round, to be honest with you. Even though, I mean, it's a heavyweight bout, it's a heavyweight champion, a championship fight. It's not a championship fight, sorry. It's a heavyweight fight. I mean, got two guys top 10. Anything can happen, but I do believe Tom does win. And I'd be thinking that he might call Stipe. I think he will call Blades out next, to be honest with you. It makes sense. Or Pavlovich. That's the other only fight above him that is not fighting. So we've got Blades or Pavlovich. Does he go as a backup for the Cyril Gane? Does he wait to potentially be backup for John Jones' fight? I don't think he's there yet. I think Pavlovich will be there, but we don't know. It is the UFC after all. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about UFC London, and yeah, let's go.